Hello, 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 and welcome to Redefining the Significance of You Time for You, by you, because of you. My name is Denise Drinkwalter, and I am a midlife renewal coach supporting women worldwide to lean into and realize the importance of you. This channel aims to provide you, the viewer, with some takeaways that will help you shift, change, reevaluate, and or become more aware of what is possible. We have a variety of guests sharing their life experiences that have helped them become the incredible human beings that they are today. Every one of us, sometime in our lives, has had that infamous free time where we might feel guilty or embarrassed or wrong for taking out time for ourselves. We're here to change that and support you to see what is possible for you when you take the time for you, by you, because of you. It is an absolute pleasure and an honor to introduce Junie Moon to our show today. Yay! Junie is the CEO of Midlife Love Out Loud, a global love mentor, best-selling author, and certified shadow work coach with over 30 years of experience dedicated to empowering women in midlife to cultivate profound self-love and attract meaningful, fulfilling relationships. Her personal journey is a true inspiration. After navigating the challenges of a 20-year dysfunctional marriage, Junie transformed her life by confronting self criticism, shedding limiting beliefs, and mastering shadow work, a journey she calls her path to next level love. This incredible transformation fueled her passion to support other women in claiming what she believes is their birthright: true, empowering love. Today, Junie has touched over 10,000 lives globally through her coaching, workshops, and her Midlife Love Out Loud podcast. She is a beacon of hope for women seeking to break free from self sabotaging patterns, heal from relationship traumas, and dismantle limiting beliefs around love and self worth. Junie is here to share her wisdom and guidance in reconnecting with our true selves, nurturing self love, and attracting the lifelong relationships we all deserve. Please join me in welcoming the inspiring and transformative Junie Moon. What a pleasure it is
What
to
a
have you
welcome.
on our
My goodness.
show.
Thank you so much. That was like such a beautiful introduction. My God, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I can't even begin to imagine the impact you have had. I'm sure it's got to be more than 10,000 women you've impacted. It has to be, because
Yeah.
this is a very common pattern in terms of the relationships and our limiting beliefs. Like, all of the stuff you're talking about
Yeah.
is almost foundational. And how sad is that? How do we start to change this script so we don't continue to live this life of limiting beliefs and self doubt? And we aren't experiencing love at the level we can. So, how do we start?
That's a huge, huge question. And like and such a like important question. I think we all need to really stop and take in. Like, how do we do that? How much love can we take in? How much love do we think we even deserve?
Hmm.
What are those limiting beliefs, and how do we navigate that? Like, how many hours do we have on this? um yeah, well, the first thing is to really notice how your life
Yeah.
is, right? What's working, what's not working, and how is it feeling? And that, to me, that's the first step, is just really coming to that awareness of, is this really how I want my life to be? Am I
Mm.
feeling the way I want to feel? What kind of relationships am I in? And are they authentic, or am I holding myself back? Am I walking on eggshells? And my specialty is really helping people be their authentic self without apology, to be able to know how valuable they are, how
Mhm.
valuable we are. Because the more we know how special we are, even with our flaws, when we can truly have compassion for ourselves and love ourselves, and I mean truly, deeply honor and love ourselves, that expands our capacity massively to invite in other people into our life. Because ultimately, if we are doubting ourselves or have those beliefs that are like, well, you're really not so great, or you're really kind of old, or who's going to really want you now that your boobs aren't as perky, or your estrogen's low and your body fat is blah 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 blah, like all of those beliefs that we've picked up along the way, that impacts our ability to say yes to life and to partnership. And
Mhm.
that's my specialties, helping people love themselves on such a deep level that whether you have a partner or not, it is such a higher level of love because it starts with you. So, yeah, what's not working and what beliefs might you have? And sometimes we don't know that, even just asking that question. We just know something's out of sorts. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. Is this a long-term journey that we get to take with ourselves, or is
I
there
Yeah,
a
I think
quick
so.
fix? Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, no, I think it's a yes and. So because everyone's like a long journey, all right, I'm out of here. I'm not going to
Yeah.
learn anything. It's like forget this. I work hard enough as it is. Um, so let me say that it is a journey, and I think we're continuing to pull back the layers of life and move forward and embrace new parts of ourselves. I always say that when I stop growing and learning, it's
Mm,
when I'm not here anymore. And so there's always more for me to heal and to notice and to experience and to shine a light on and go, ooh, there's still a tether of, I'm tethered somehow. There's a root that I still need to pull out. However, the more you unfold, the more you learn about yourself, the more you unplug from the past and you come into this present moment and you get comfortable with the unknown future, because frankly, the future is unknown. The more you can be more comfortable with the unknown, the bigger, brighter life that you can have. And so what used to be so terrifying or so challenging for me, like walking on eggshells and not asking for my needs to be met and micromanaging everything in my 20-year marriage, to being free and relaxed in my new partnership and not worrying about what he's thinking or how he's going to view me, or am I going to be discarded or rejected? That's old stuff. So even though I
mm,
still find myself in moments of, oh, there's a little something there, I felt a little fear. Oh, I noticed that I'm in his mind and not my own mind. When I notice things in my life with my mother or anywhere, it's like, oh, there's another little piece, but they're little pieces. So life gets easier, it gets more exciting, and I continue to grow and expand and learn and allow myself to go for the journey. So it's a yes, and it just gets a lot easier when you do the work.
and what I'm hearing, what you're talking about, I'm envisioning the power that you are able to witness your growth and the techniques, strategies, and the self-love that you have that you didn't have prior, that you built upon, has made it such that you get to shine the light on your own power. And
Yeah.
only for the purposes of, wow, this is amazing. Life gets to be amazing.
Life gets to be amazing because I am amazing no matter
Yeah.
what. And the other thing, and
Mm,
this is such a common thing that I see, because a lot of women that come to me are single or they're starting over in some way in a relationship. And even some people are in relationships. If they don't have a deep, strong sense of how precious they are
mm,
and don't have that self worth, like I didn't have that in my marriage.
yeah.
When you can honor yourself and you can trust yourself and treat yourself like the precious soul that you are, you will not accept bad behavior anymore. You will not allow somebody in to your vortex of life that is not meeting you in the way that you want to be met. So when people come to me and they go, "Oh, can you give me the dating advice? I heard you're really great at helping people get into relationships and nail the whole dating, streamline the dating stuff." Yeah, I'm great at that. And I can help people get into a relationship like that. But do you really want a relationship, or do you want the relationship?
Yeah.
And the first relationship has to be with yourself. Because if you have
Yes.
limiting beliefs, and we all do, and I still do, I just am, they're quieter, they're faster, I move through them. If you have a part of you that is squashing you and doubting you, and let's be real, we've all had experiences in our life that have shaped us to be a little bit more cautious, or we don't want to open up our hearts, or if I really
Yeah.
share my truth, am I going to be criticized and left? I mean, we have all of these things that have happened in our life that have us being on guard. The more on guard we are, the less we get to relax and enjoy.
Mhm.
So the more we can treat ourselves like the queens we are and know what we deserve on a deep cellular level, everything
Right.
falls into place. And the people that are in your life and who you call in, and especially your partners, it is a whole new world.
Whole new ball game, right?
Yeah.
100%, because you're at a new level.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're at a new capacity. Yeah. And you do the work for you, by you, because of you. Right.
Yeah.
And
And it's not like this heavy lifting kind of work, like the
yeah,
word
thank
work.
you.
People are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it sounds scary, shadow work, looking at blind spots, unpacking the past." It's a real paradox. The more work you do, the freer you get. The more work
Mhm.
you do, the happier you get. And at the end of the day, when you do this journey, you are able to go much faster and just free yourself up. It is beautiful. So work, I don't know. When people come into sessions with me and they come in really heavy and I'm beating myself up, or I'm not putting myself online because I need to lose 20 pounds and I feel ugly and blah,
Mm.
blah, blah. Like that is heavy. That is painful.
Yes.
This work is freeing.
Thank you for that clarification. I love what you just shared there. What you are doing to yourself is
Mm,
more damaging, heavier, blocking than what you can experience through your support and their
exactly.
journeys with you. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the awareness piece is where it all begins, isn't it? When you know there's a niggling inside of you, like, "Ah, I think there's something more and I don't know what it is and I don't know how to get there." And somebody just hands that to me on a platter. Strategies, techniques, ideas, thoughts, mind shifts, limiting beliefs, all those things. We can provide supports, but you get to take it and use it the way that works best for you. Do you find
Yeah.
that with your clients? Yes.
Absolutely. And awareness is the first step.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of personal growth and therapy ends, actually. Let's understand, oh, well, the last relationship, he cheated on you. Of course, you're going to be scared. Well, how do you want to have the next relationship? And so they look at the future, or, breathe into it, or whatever it is. People have
Right.
different
Sure.
techniques, but most of the time it's neck up. It's like, let's just look at it. Let's understand, oh,
Mhm.
your mother was critical, your dad was aggressive, whatever. So, okay, now you know, but that's not really going to do much for you, because underneath your chin is your body that has taken on all of these experiences. And the body never lies. So when you
Mhm.
start to talk and engage with people and open up, and you feel your body going, like, what is that about? Mentally you could be like, I'm fine, I'm safe, I've got this. But what is your body telling you? So when I work with people, and like you mentioned, I'm a certified shadow worker, we
Mhm.
look at, what have you lost access to? What happens in
Mm.
your life that has shaped you, that has given these messages to you, that have you thinking you have to be a certain way to be loved, that you need to show up in a certain way, that you won't be left, things like that. Or just,
Mhm.
you may not even realize some of the things, and most of the things are in shadow, where you don't even see what's in the background running your show. And that's where you hold yourself back and you self-sabotage. You come up with all these different strategies. in the unconscious realm. You're not purposely going, I'm going to overeat so I feel like crap and no one's going to want me. No, we do this because there's a part inside of your brain in the unconscious realm, which is 95% of your brain. You might say, I want a partner, I want great love. But in the background, it's going, oh man, she's doing it again. She's going to make the same mistakes. She's going to go out the same guy. She's going to have her heart broken. Shut this baby down. All right. Let's just tell her no one's going to want her. Let's just
Right.
tell her there aren't any good guys left or the dating sucks. I mean, it's like whatever the strategy, that part is going to squash it. And that's where the self-sabotage comes in. So on the one hand, that part is doing you a service. It's
Right.
protecting you. It wants to keep you safe. On the other hand, it's overshooting and it doesn't realize that it's hurting you. It's
Right.
holding you back and it's hurting
Right.
you.
Right. It has one purpose, and it's the safety, and it's got that
One
space.
purpose. Yep,
Right.
one
Yeah.
purpose. And
Yeah.
it'll do whatever it needs to do. And
Yeah.
so we come into these relationships, and I'm not just
Yeah.
talking about intimate relationships, but all relationships with your
Yeah.
kids, with your parents, with your coworkers. We bring ourselves into that
Yep.
conversation. And so if in the background there's a part of you that's going, you really don't know what you're doing, that's going to keep you quiet. You're not going to raise your
Mhm.
hand. You're not going to offer, your ideas, whatever it is. So all of these patterns have been serving you up to a point to keep you
Right.
safe. And that's why we must pull back the curtains and go, is this really working? Because I want this, but this is how I'm showing up. And this is hurting me. So we need to rewire.
Right. Right. Well, we're multi-dimensional, and
Yeah.
and we get to, and I use that term get very purposefully, as you know, so that you are the one in power, not your thoughts.
Yeah.
You have the capacity to make changes, just like you in
Right.
all of the things you've accomplished and continue to grow. I love how you shared. I still have those little whoop. What are you doing? What are you?
Oh, yeah, me too.
Hello, we're
And I'm like,
human.
thank you, but
Yes.
that's not really working for me right now. I'm here. This is an old message, park it at the door,
Yeah. Go sit down.
Yeah, yeah,
Next.
I've got this. I've got this. And you could even ask that part. I call it the
Yeah.
risk manager. You could ask that
Mm.
part, am I in danger? Like, really? Am I in
Yeah.
danger? Because if I'm not really in danger and the risk isn't that high, let me see this through. Give me
Yeah.
some space because
Mhm.
you squashing me and having me feel inadequate or shameful or whatever it is, that's not what I'm signing up for anymore. And catching these moments, catching those feelings, catching those
Yeah.
thoughts, that's the first step. And then to unpack it and shift it and heal it and change it, that's the work. That's the work.
Absolutely.
Building those
Absolutely.
muscles.
Yeah. And it's not something you would naturally do, because naturally everything happens the way it's happening. So that is the opportunity that you get to when you connect with Junie. She will work through that process, those journeys with you, tapping into what's going on for you. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like I said, most of it's unconscious. So that means you're
Yeah.
not as aware, you're aware of your experience, but you may not be aware. Okay. Imagine a dandelion and you like, I need to pull out that dandelion. Oh, good. I got it out. But we know they keep coming back, right? It's like why bother, right? But we get out most of it. We see
Right.
the root, but it comes back because there's this little thing. So, what are the little things that maybe you can't
Mhm.
see on your own? That's what shadow work does. That's what the kind of work I do. And there, like, here's an example. One of my clients years ago, she was in one of my programs, and
Mhm.
she said to me, and she was so like, this is truth. She's like, I have been with men and they all lie. All the men have always lied. They tell me they love me. They tell me they think I'm so special, and they're lying. Interesting, right? So, as we did some shadow work together, what came up was she didn't feel lovable. She had
Mhm.
experiences in her past that told her no one's going to really want you. So, if unconsciously she's believing she's unlovable, why would she believe anybody that says, I love you? She
Right.
couldn't. And once she was able to unplug from that and heal that and truly know I am worthy of love, even if I'm not perfect, I'm worthy of love. That's when she got into a relationship. And it wasn't years, it was months. Because once you
Mm,
see it and once you switch that switch, things change.
beautiful. Thank you for that example. I was going to ask,
Sure.
how can women in midlife stop the self-sabotage and start attracting the love and relationships that they really deserve?
Yeah, and we're talking about it. I mean, it's a journey for sure, and it doesn't have to be so long. So I always say, and most people start with what they don't want. Well, I had this and I had this and I so great.
Right.
You know what you don't want.
Yep.
And and here's something another something to throw in here, a stat.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 47% of first marriages go into divorce. 61 to 67% of second marriages end in divorce, and over 70% in third marriages end in divorce. So
Wow.
if we know what we don't want to do again, why does it keep happening? So
Great.
we
Great.
need to change something or
Mm.
nothing changes. The list of I don't want, and the universe is hearing all the things that you don't want, which basically is saying, you got some more work to do. Let's give you some more of that. So the first thing I always say is, what is your North Star? Because if you don't really
Mm.
know what you're desiring, and you don't have to be perfect, again, let's just throw perfection out the window. But when you know the type of person that you are desiring, like I do this thing called the relationship blueprint exercise, where it's not just values. Like I want someone who's honest and loyal and funny and likes to travel. Like we all have that list, right? Who doesn't
Sure.
have that list?
Yeah.
But we dig so deeply into what does that look like in a partner? What does that look like for you? What is your relationship to yourself? So
Right.
when you have such a clear picture of who you are now in this stage of life, because we are not looking for daddies for our babies. We're, well, maybe you want a father figure, but we're not
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
for somebody to have a baby with. We're in a
Hmm.
different stage of life.
Yeah.
So paint that picture as much as you can with as many details as you can. I want to be met soul to soul, where I can share anything and feel open and vulnerable and be able to relax in his arms and shoot for, like, paint a
Right.
picture. I want to
Right.
travel around the world, and I want him to be able to feel comfortable hopping on a cruise ship or sitting on a beach. Like, get so specific about what is most important for you. And so you have your North Star. It's important. How would it feel? What would impact your life? So
Mm.
start there, because most people don't even spend time to reflect on, how do I want my life to be?
Yeah.
And I invite everybody to have that life, whether the partner's here or not, because typically it's when
Mm.
you are embracing that richness in that life that someone shows up. And I know
Sure.
that firsthand because I'm loving my life, and boom, there he was. So
Yeah.
live the life you desire.
Yeah.
And then you got to unpack the past. If you bring your U-Haul with all the baggage from all of the experiences you've had in your life,
Right.
decades of relationships, time when you were a kid where parents were telling you, this is a good girl, don't
Yeah.
do this, do that, you'll fit in. You've checked all those boxes, but now how is that for you? And so we
Hmm.
need to really empty out the U-Haul and let it go. Keep it in the past, learn from it, but not be
Yes.
attached to it. And that's called wisdom. The past without emotion is wisdom. So
Mhm.
when we can do that, then we really have a very different trajectory on how we're going to be, and
Mhm.
how we're being is how our relationships will show up.
Absolutely. I love everything you were saying, and I would love to add one little more
Mm,
component to the conversation, and that is this. The beautiful thing about supporting midlife women is that we are in a different time frame overall. So
yeah.
we are in, I think, the sweetest spot to do this kind of support work. You couldn't be at a better stage and age in your life to start a journey. Reach out to Junie. What types of things? I know we have in the show notes how to contact you from your website. Is there
Mhm.
anything else you would love to share with the audience before we? these days.
Absolutely. And I want to
Yeah.
piggyback on what you just said, which this is such a potent, beautiful time in our life. Yes,
Mhm.
sometimes we have elderly parents we have to take care of, and maybe our young adult kids are needing some things. And our hormones are supporting this stage of life. We're not feeling overall like we have to do everything for everybody. And if you still have that, that's a pattern. So
Sure.
we're wiser, we're smarter, and we also know how many more decades do we have. Tomorrow's not
Right.
promised. We know that we've had losses. So, how can we really have the life that we desire and make it the way that would be thrilling? And so, I actually have a special contest going on. So, whenever anybody's watching this, every month I'm giving access to my relationship toolkit course. It's a $700 course that helps you learn how to have that deep self love, how to open up your heart vulnerably and safely, how to
Mm.
have healthy boundaries, how to dial down that inner critic or that that's just whipping you and having you believe that you don't deserve. It's a really substantial course. You have access to me throughout it, and I give one person um, uh, access to it, one winner a month, and there's a whole bunch of second place prizes as well. So to enter the contest, I'll give you the link, but it's my website, midlifeloveoutloud.com/contest. And be sure to put your real phone number and your email, because otherwise I can reach
Perfect.
out to
Of
you,
course.
and then let me know, like, right, why it should be you. Why
Mm.
now? Why do you want to have the best toolkit so you could have that deep connection with all the people in your life, especially your potential partner or the partner you have? So that's one thing that's happening.
Love
And I would be
that.
totally honored to support everybody. And one last thing, on my
Yeah.
website, there's also a quiz to discover your love avatar. And that's a fun quiz to see where you are when it comes to your relationship readiness. So those are two things
Mm.
that you can take advantage of and have some fun with and potentially win a really awesome prize.
I love that. Thank you so much for
You're so
sharing that.
welcome. You're so
I love
welcome.
that. We will make sure that people get that in the show notes as well. And what a wonderful conversation. We will reconnect. I know it. We are so aligned in what
Yes,
we do, right?
totally.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us
Oh,
today. It
thank you
was so
so
great
much.
to, yeah, so great to have the conversation. I do want to share with the audience that I have crafted this beautiful
Woohoo!
guided journal for empowered women for you, by you, because of you. You can find it on Amazon, any Amazon. Just look up my name. I'll put links in the show notes as well, so you can grab a copy of that and start to unpack in your own way through the guided empowered journal that I have created. So thank you again, Junie, for being here, sharing your gifts and your wisdom and your light.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Take care of yourselves.